So we're almost at the end of the course. But what's really important is you're probably asking yourselves, okay, so we have value proposition canvas, so we have the customer profile, we have the value map, we have a business model design prototype that we've designed, the 1.0 version of ours, right? And then we have our riskiest assumptions. But how does it play all together, and how does it come into the pivot? So I'm going to demonstrate to you really quick, okay? And you can ask me questions after this course is over if you'd like. But the most important thing is, how did the pivot thing really works in real life? So let me show you an example, okay? So we took the job shop owner as the persona, okay? He's the decision maker we're trying to please here and create value for. And what we said was his main job, our assumption was his main job is he wants to increase the yield of his machines by 20%. Okay, so his current prioritized job, meaning that's what he's bothered about, is the machine yield needs to go up by 20%. So we kind of, guessed intelligently enough the number, and we guessed the job. So we think that's the most important job. Now there's going to be plenty of jobs here that you probably put, but let's focus on this one for a second because I want to show you how this works. Okay? Now, the pain is what really stops him or slows him down from reaching this job successfully. So machines reprogramming takes 3 times more than it should, okay? So what are the guesses here? That's the pain. The reprogramming is the source of the pain, and 3 times or 3x. This is another guess. It's a cumulative or quantitative guess, but these are guesses about our pains. Okay, great. We think his dream is 0 reprogramming. Like, okay, I don't want any time spent on that. That's his desired dream. Great. All right. So once we put the profile, now we thought, okay, why don't we help this guy? So we'll get some service done with auto programming, which we're going to deliver through the cloud, and you're going to see that soon. And to relieve the pain, we're going to take the humans out, okay? So there's no human intervention. This is done entirely by machines or software for that matter. And so we'll relieve the pain with no human involved, and it's going to be 100% seamless so that, he doesn't see anything. So as far as he's concerned, there's nothing happening. It's like part of the process, okay? And maybe we're getting the yield up because of that as well. So you could add that into the value proposition, but let's keep it simple for now. Now, moving on to the business model. So, okay, job shop owners, they're our customer segment, and we're providing them a service called cloud-based auto programming, okay? That's a service we're providing in the value proposition, and we're delivering this service through an API to the machines. So we're connecting to the machines and we're building this API. It's our digital channel to deliver the value. Now, in order to lock the customer, we're going to create customized APIs. Okay, great. We customize the API for you, Mr. Job Shop owner. Now we're tied in together. So we're really embedded into your solution. It's going to be hard for you to let go. And we're going to deliver machine pattern analytics. So we're going to further include more services here and lock you through analytics into working with our solution. Great, okay, which is going to bring, of course, additional value. Now, we're going to charge maybe dollars per program, okay? That's a very legit kind of a revenue model, and it's tied into the value as well. It's a per usage, okay, or per value kind of a revenue model. Great. Now the question is, business model prototype and value proposition prototype, how do you work with this canvas? So we already said we're going to put our riskiest assumptions. So let's write down, 3 riskiest assumptions. So riskiest assumption number 1 is a desirability. Risky assumption, okay? Which means we believe that, all right, WBT, job shop owners really suffer from slow reprogramming. Like, we believe this is the real pain, the major pain here, because, we want to solve this pain. So here's a desirability, very risky assumption. Why is it risky? Because if it's untrue, then we're going to pivot, right? Okay, moving on to another type of assumption. We're talking about feasibility. So feasibility has to do with our capability of building something, all right? We believe that we can customize an API per job shop. All right? So if that's needed, I don't know, maybe thousands of types of APIs, probably not because they're tied into machines, but then there are patterns there as well. But that's a feasibility assumption. And the last would be viability assumption that has to do with, is it worth our time? So we believe that there are plenty of job shop owners who are suffering from manual reprogramming, okay? Which means if there's only one or two, it's not worth our time. It's desired, but it's not viable to us, meaning the market is large enough, okay? So viability, feasibility, desirability. So how do you use this when you go out to the field? So you basically grab the questions that you've put based on these assumptions that are tied into the assumptions here. So machines, right? And it's tied to the desirability. The API to this part in the canvas that we need to basically, we're building upon it as a lock, all right? And this part, which is all about the right customer segment and the combination of the pain and the value proposition being priced into a revenue model. Okay, great. So now we step out, we start talking to job shop owners. Guess what? We're starting to find that they're not really interested or bothered about this. Well, we're finding out, pivot. Oh boy. This is like wrong. The whole thing here is about additional customers. So all they want is to add more customers. That's what they care about. And their pain is no longer this, but it's really this. Slow quoting. So their quoting is slower and slows their pace in actually acquiring more customers in comparison with their competitors or other platforms that compete with them. Now, maybe this is not totally irrelevant. Maybe it's a lower priority. And this becomes an A priority, and this becomes a B priority. Which means that our design now would have to take into consideration, what are we going to put in our MVP? So MVP is all about priorities. Which problems are golden problems? Which pains are golden pains? Where are we going to invest our 8 weeks in terms of problem solution fit and then product market fit, right? One more thing that we found is that delivered quotes in half a day is way more important to their priorities now than zero reprogramming. We need more work. It's not about delivering the jobs, it's about gaining more jobs. So the question would be, okay, what is our MVP? And what value will our MVP bring as a result of this pivot, okay? And this is how you work with these tools. So some of the things will now become less relevant maybe, and you would have to actually redesign and replace them with other things, with other elements of your entire design, okay? And so then this kind of an assumption, all right, they really suffer, that has not been validated, and thus, it goes out, it's out of the game. And another assumption will basically come in, or we will be able to write that it's already validated that a lot of job shop owners would like a faster quoting, right? Which means that's already validated. Okay, I think we've had enough talking. Now you set out to the field, use these tools in the right manner, and you're going to be twisted by the pivots that you're going to get. Good luck.